How's it going, everybody? My name is Warner Fields with Fields of Profit. Today I'm here with my friend Sadiq, who is crushing the Amazon game right now. He's about to hit $100,000 in 1 month, so I'm super excited to get into his story. But if you just want to kind of briefly introduce yourself, Sadiq, maybe let us know how you got into Amazon. We can kind of go from there.
Yep. Thanks for having me, Warner. My name is Sadiq. I've been selling on Amazon for around a year now. I came from the sneaker reselling background, like I know a lot of other people have too. And I made the transition around a year ago, last August.
Awesome. Yeah. So how long were you doing sneakers and all that kind of stuff? I know that's a pretty popular transition there.
Yep, definitely. It's been around 3 years total in the sneaker game.
Yeah. So what have you seen? What made you want to jump ship from sneakers or even other businesses that seemed interesting? What was better about Amazon to you?
Just like the velocity and the sheer volume it has, because there's just way more people shopping on Amazon than platforms like StockX and Go.
Gotcha. Is there anything about those platforms that's better? Do you miss anything about the sneaker world, or is it all better on Amazon?
There's no returns on StockX and Go too, so I miss that a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure we can get into that later. I'm sure a lot of you guys at home, I don't sell shoes, all that kind of stuff, and returns is a big reason for that, right? So before we do that, I want to back up a little bit just in case the people watching this video, they're just kind of getting into the space. Do you remember how you found that first item to resell? How'd you find it? Even maybe what that item was?
Yep. Yeah, I've been networking since day one. So it's me and my couple other buddies from the sneaker world. We hopped on a Discord call together and we just started ripping through sites to find something profitable all together.
Awesome. And yeah, so for you, networking, making connections, that kind of stuff sounds like it's really important. How would you say that a new seller should go out and make those connections? Why was that so important for you to have those connections?
Yeah, to make some connections, just hop on Twitter or Instagram, start reaching out to some people. Hop on a Zoom call or a Discord call, because it's everything. It's the reason I've been able to scale so far.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was even back in the day for me, right? It's jumping on Zoom calls. A lot of the other guys you guys at home will see making YouTube videos and that kind of stuff now. It's fun to see everybody come up, right? And you've been saying you're on Zoom calls 4 or 5 times a week, just chopping it up, sourcing products together. Yeah, I think this comes out literally every time I do an interview is people are well connected, right? You just have to be to make really good money.
Make your life easier.
Yeah. It's so much harder to do it alone, right? Put yourself out of the comfort zone a little bit, but you'll be off to the races. So, coming from the sneaker world, you're at a little bit of an advantage, right? So you know how to buy things, you know how to get it cheap, resell, all that good stuff. Was there any point in your reselling journey, even including the shoes back in the day, where it started to click, where you're like, oh man, reselling is serious. I can make a lot of money doing this?
Yeah, when I started figuring out sales cycles and discount codes for certain sites, it just made everything a lot easier, because I've been buying from the same sites for the last 3 years or so. But just getting a firm grip on when their sales are, what discount codes can I use? Can I stack any other discount codes? Just makes everything way more profitable and whatnot.
For sure, yeah. Is there a certain way you're tracking those sales? Are you recording that data anywhere?
No, I just up in my brain. That's it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's the sneaker reseller in your eyes, oh, I know how to get this loop and that one. That's awesome. For you guys, if you're not a genius like Sadiq here, I like making a Google sheet here and then recording the times that you saw a really good percentage code, so you can know oh, that's a good sale for that site. So if you want to start implementing that for your own business at home, you can definitely take advantage of that. So how much time are you spending on this business right now? You said you're about to clear 100K this month. That's the golden question: is who cares if you're selling 100K if you're working 80 hours a week?
Yeah, it's probably 2 or 3 hours a day max, because I have a prep center now. I have an admin VA to take care of the task I don't want to do. So it just comes down to sourcing 2 or 3 hours a day.
Awesome. Yeah. When did you get the prep center? When did that make sense for your business?
So I was around 60K a month, and I got it around 3 months ago now, I think.
Awesome. So you were putting in the work, shipping in stuff then, if you were already at 60K before you had it.
Yeah.
You say that you had a couple late nights there.
Too many. Couldn't even get in my bed at one point.
Right. Yeah, I used to get in trouble back in the day filling up our house with stuff and had to get the prep center, right? Would you have done it sooner? Looking back, would you have gotten the prep center?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
A couple months sooner.
Awesome. When for somebody watching this video, when should they start thinking about getting a prep center?
If you're spending more time prepping than sourcing, then definitely get one. Yeah. And then if you're in a tax state, then get one as soon as you can.
Yeah, for sure. Are you in a state where you didn't have any sales tax?
Yeah, I'm in Pennsylvania, so awesome. There's no tax on shoes and clothing.
Yeah, there's many resellers in Pennsylvania printing money on that. So for those of you guys who don't know what we're talking about there's certain states where sales tax exempt in different categories. So Pennsylvania, you don't pay it on shoes, clothing. Other states, you don't pay it at all. So for me, I started in 10% sales tax. You get the prep center, I'm saving time and money. Shipping it off to them, they do all the work, shipping off to Amazon for you. So it's awesome. You're able to kind of outsource a little bit there. And then when did you add that admin VA into your business, and what kind of specific tasks are they taking care of for you?
I think I added her too soon. It was 7 months ago at this point, but She like sorts my emails, keeps tracks of orders when they ship. She does my seller board cost of goods, summary pricing, just a bunch of tasks I don't want to do.
Awesome. Yeah, that was a big one for me. I waited way too long on the flip side of that. We were doing like 200K a month or something. I was like, I guess I should bring somebody on, right? So it's like, oh, I don't have to do IP complaints and all the little stuff that's just, it adds up, right? Like I like write everything I'm doing down on a piece of paper and just start underlining things that I don't have to do. And boom, your hourly rate goes way up. Just kind of hiring those out. So, obviously, getting this business down to 2 or 3 hours a day, sounds like you're being pretty efficient at product sourcing. What is kind of your go-to method for doing actual product research right now?
Yeah, it's mainly OA with my boys. We just hop on either a call or a Zoom or something, and we'll just source together, rip through a site sale or some type of site we know that's pretty good. And then I do some retail arbitrage as well too. I have employees that go to the Nike outlet and whatnot for me. Yeah, I pay them a little bit and I get a bunch of high ROI items.
That's awesome. Yeah, maybe do you want to talk about that a little bit, or is that secret sauce for you?
I'll talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
So yeah, it's my college buddies. They have nothing to do during the summer, so I just send them to the outlet. I go with them a couple times just to show them what to do, have the SellerAmp set up and everything, and they'll just go scan the product. If it's profitable, they'll come bring it back to me, and that's it.
That's awesome. Are you paying like commission or anything? You're just straight hourly with them?
No, I pay them like $75 plus gas money. I pay them decently well.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of, I've always hired family, friends, that kind of stuff. Some people tell horror stories, but it's somebody you can already trust. So like, I personally have like a lot of you guys at home probably got, a daughter or son that's 14, needs to make a little bit of money, like put them to work prepping products, like have them start stickering things, like no reason not to, right? Yeah. So when you're ripping through those storefronts together, is there a certain sourcing method you guys are sticking with? Are you just manual sourcing, like comparing prices? Is there anything like that you're getting into?
It's the vast majority is manual, but if we're in a drought or we can't find anything or we need some inspiration, we'll go right to storefront stalking.
Awesome. Yeah. And if you're starting from square one again, which is better? Like, should you storefront stock? Should you manual? Should you use software?
Definitely storefront stock in the beginning just to get used to what brands sell well and
Yeah. So if you guys are brand new to that, basically you're just going to pop open SellerAmp, click on somebody, you can see everything they're selling, all the categories, all that kind of stuff. And then once you connect the dots there, you can start, go hanging out with some of your other reseller friends that you guys make, pop up onto a Zoom and search through those brands that you guys are finding while reverse sourcing. And that's awesome. You guys are able to connect on that, source together. Yeah. So now that you've been able to scale, you're doing pretty well, right? You're about to do 100K a month. Was there anything that you had to stop doing? For me, like I sold books back in the day. So that was really holding me down. That was limiting me. And I had to switch to a new business model. Was there anything that you stopped doing in order to get to the 100K?
I stopped doing RA myself. That was taking a lot of time and a lot of energy out of me. And I figured if I could just hire my friends to do it, I could scale a lot quicker while I'm at home sourcing online.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Would you still like do the RA in the early days if you're doing it again, or would you just skip straight to OA?
No, that would be the first thing I do is go right to the outlet just because it's way easier to find things.
Yeah, it's a good proof of concept, right? You can hop in. You can if you ever you can list something and sell it before you ever get out the store. Have you ever done that with some merch fulfillment?
I haven't, but I've sold it like a few hours later.
Yeah. That's the best part. You hop in the store, you find especially like right now while we're talking back to school season, you go and you find a backpack, the right price of it sold before you get out the door. Yeah, that's what I really love about, getting hands-on experience, touch the products, all that kind of stuff. So you mentioned that you have an admin VA kind of taking care of the back end. Do you have any sourcing virtual assistants or is it all just you?
I've tried it, but I don't like it. I've caught a couple of VAs sharing leads or whatnot. So right now it's just me and my boys.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome. Like a lot of people, that's like a limiting belief, right? Is I need a team. I need a bunch of people helping me out. Like clearly don't. And you're about to be 6-figure a month, right? Yeah. So as we've been talking about, clearly you're going out to the outlets, selling shoes, clothing, all that kind of stuff. A lot of sellers and especially newer sellers might avoid that category. What are some of the things you're doing to genuinely, turn a profit after returns and people not knowing what sizes they are and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, first and foremost, you have to target a higher ROI than usual just to factor in that return rate and all the fees attached to that. And then also, like, you pay attention to your return rate for certain ASINs. So I stay away from a lot of women's running shoes, for example, and I'll target more men's shoes just because the return rate.
Yeah, we did the same thing. Like we have different, higher ROI in women's, lower in men's. Like we even noticed like certain brands, like for whatever reason, like I don't know if you've noticed this, but women's Skechers get returned way more than other brands. So maybe their sizing is weird. Like I like you coming in, like if you guys at home have return problems, like dive into the return rates, like go to each ASIN. Oh, this one had 20% return rate, clearly a problem, right? There's going to be some products that are awesome and then others that people just have no idea what size they are, something went wrong, something like that. And yeah, do you have any plans to start thinking about other categories, or is clothing and shoes kind of just the bread and butter for you?
It's my bread and butter, so I'm going to stick with it for OA and then eventually transition to wholesale. I think.
Have you started working on wholesale at all yet?
No, not yet.
Sure. Yeah, especially going into Q4, like that's like a January project, right? Is master OA, like make a ton of money in December selling shoes and stuff, and then go start figuring out how to buy boring stuff that sells year round.
That was my plan for Q1 next year.
Yeah, that's awesome. You'll be set up, and then same thing again. Next Q4, you'll have some wholesalers for toys and that kind of stuff, and just put it on repeat, much bigger scale, right? So looking back, going back to the beginning of Amazon, was there anything that like really held you back significantly? Would you have changed anything about how the last year has gone for you?
Would have got business credit a lot sooner, just because you can, once you get used to your cash flow and everything, you can scale a lot faster by leveraging business credit.
Cool. And how should someone go about, starting to build some business credit?
First, get your personal credit intact, get a Discover rate if you don't have a credit card yet, get it to 700, and then apply for like the Amex Blue Business or Plum. That's the two I have right now.
Cool. Yeah. The Amex Business Blue, I think, will give almost any business a credit card. That was my first one. So you start building credit. And yeah, are you running into like capital limitations because you started a little bit too late?
No, I'm okay now. I'm good now.
Okay. Yeah, that's a big one, right? Especially the Plum probably helped you out a little bit there. You get that longer payback period as well, I assume.
Yeah, and I have a crazy limit on it now too.
That's awesome. And you just boost that limit by consistently running product through it, paying it off. Anything else special you got going on there?
I have a rep too. I talk to all the time. Yeah, I just tell him like my projection to spend for the next month too. He calls me once a month, and I have no issues.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a good thing to get set up. Especially like back in the day, I was spending like 30 or 40 grand a month. All of a sudden, I started spending like 90. I got a call. It's like, what are you doing, man? Like, you got to tell us why you're doubling your spend all of a sudden. Yeah. So clearly been talking a lot about networking, putting yourself out there. What benefits have you seen from, making a social media specifically? Obviously you got the Discord and that kind of stuff. And should a new seller getting into Amazon, should they have a social media presence?
A new seller should 100% have a social media presence. It just makes it, meeting new sellers a lot easier. And then the benefits I've seen from it is I might not know about a shoe brand or a clothing brand that's extremely profitable, but I have no idea what it is, and someone puts me onto it, then making a lot more money.
Right. And then you're like, hey, go check out this loop, and there you go. Like mutual relationship, and you're making money together forever. And what kind of content should they post as a new? So obviously you're not an expert yet. Like what should they be sharing?
Just post your progress, like some orange bars. If you hit your first like $1,000 in sales, post that. Some shipments, whatever you're doing.
Yeah, I like that. Something I think people fall into. Like I was even talking to a girl last night. She's like, "Oh, I've only sold 2,000." Like that's 2,000 more than 95% of people who watch an Amazon video, right? Who just keep scrolling. Like, who cares if you've only sold a few $100? Like, start posting. People are going to see that it's like, oh, they're actually trying this. Like, I'm trying it too. Let's start talking together, and that's just how good relationships are built there.
Yeah, and I think bigger sellers are a lot more inclined to help the guys who are trying rather than have zero sales and haven't done any of the work yet.
Yeah, 1,000%. I'm sure you see it where, you get some DMs, you get some questions, but the guy who's got orange bars as his profile picture or FBA in the handle, they're getting an answer. Like they're getting a good answer, right?
100%.
Yeah. So, looking into the future for you, what is your long-term goal for your business? Sales wise, what kind of business model do you want to end up in? Where do you see the business in a couple of years?
Yeah, ideally 100% wholesale within like the next year or two. I just think it's a more sustainable model, and I don't have to deal with all the shoes returns and everything.
Sure.
But yeah, the next 1 to 2 years, that's my plan, is to get into wholesale.
Awesome. What's holding you back from those like long-term goals for you right now? I know, even at 100K a month, like what's holding you back from 200K a month right now?
Probably just the skill. I need to get better at product sourcing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, even back to what we were talking about, like the thing I would challenge you with is maybe to go think about a sourcer now that you're really crushing it. You know what to look for. Train somebody like, this is exactly what I'm doing on this website, and make sure you've got time track or something like that if you're worried about them sharing leads. But I bet that would grow your business a lot if you find the right person who really wants to work hard, give them a profit share on the stuff they're finding, show them how you're doing it. Like you could probably scale a lot doing that.
Probably, yeah. I'll definitely try that out.
Yeah, and just to kind of start wrapping us up here, if you are that guy or girl, you've sold $0, you've got a couple $100 in sales, what should they do today, this week? What should they start doing to take action on Amazon?
Definitely just go hit an outlet or something, TJ Maxx even, or Nike. Just start scanning products. So you'll find something profitably eventually, and you'll get the proof of concept a lot quicker than overanalyzing an OA product line.
Yeah, I like that. Go hit the clearance section. Like it's going to take a second, but there's way lower risk in the clearance section too. You're paying, I don't know, $5 for something, right? Like, yeah, go get that proof of concept. That's awesome. And for anyone who's watching this video who wants to, maybe network with you, ask you some questions, especially if they're at your sales level, you guys want to hop on a Zoom call together, where can they find you?
My Twitter is DeekFBA. I'm mainly on there, and then I have an Instagram is DeekFBA as well.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll get that drop down below. So make sure you guys go drop Sadiq a follow. Go follow his journey as he's crushing the Amazon game. But I really appreciate you guys watching this video. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, anything like that. Always happy to answer that for you guys. Feel free to also hit the subscribe button if we added some value to your business. But I really appreciate you guys watching this video, and I will see you next time.